introduce my good friend, the distinguished senator from Connecticut, Chris Murphy.
Well, thank you very much, Leslie. Thank you for all that you do, all the board members and staff at Civic Influencers. I'm really excited to be able to bring you some greetings from Washington, D.C. this evening. I am what passes for young in the United States.
Senator Murphy.
Yes.
One moment. We're not seeing you. Rachel.
Yes, Maxim.
Can you get Senator Murphy on the screen?
I believe you have to do it from your end. He is spotlighted front and center for us on Zoom.
Thank you, Senator.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you, and you look fantastic.
All right, great. Well, listen, thank you so much for letting me bring you just a few greetings. I'm sorry I can't be there with you in person. We are in Washington right now. As I was mentioning, I am what passes for young in the United States Senate, which is just a statement on the relative ages of my colleagues. But I'm just so excited the work that you are doing to engage young people in a peer-to-peer basis on the importance of turnout. The fact of the matter is, when young people don't turn out, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Ultimately, Congress doesn't express the will, the desires of young people across this country because they predict that young people will turn out at a rate that is much different than that of older voters. In 2018, that wasn't the case. In 2018, young voters came out all over the country at a rate twice that of the prior midterm. And if young people turn out in 2022, like they did in 2018, it will change the face of Congress. It will elect to Congress more members of the House and Senate who care about tackling the epidemic of gun violence. It will elect more members of the House and the Senate who will care about doing our part to solve the existential challenge of climate change. It will elect more members of Congress who will step up and make school more accessible and more affordable. And so I'm just so encouraged by the work that you have done and will do. And I hope that some of our progress over the summer shows that politics is worth it. I get it. A lot of young people say, what difference can I make? Well, if it wasn't for young people turning out in record numbers in 2018 and coming back out again in 2020, we wouldn't have been able to pass the most significant anti-gun violence bill in 30 years as we did this summer. We would not have been able to pass the first ever significant investment in clean energy and climate policy as we did this summer. Admittedly, we have so much more to do, but it is absolutely critical to make sure that we continue to invest in the work of groups like yours that are working to turn out our colleagues. And I apologize, that was my colleague Sherry Brown just opening up the door to say hello, but we have a lot of fans here in the United States Senate of the work that you're doing, and I'm greatly appreciative of the chance to stop by and say hello this evening.
This was receiving tonight's Power Award, Anya Taylor.
Hi, Senator Murphy. So nice to virtually meet you. Again, I am Anya Taylor, and I am receiving the Civic Influencer of the Year Power Award tonight for my work at North Carolina A&T, the largest HBCU in the country. And my question for you tonight is, do you think that what Civic Influencers does, which is relational peer-to-peer organizing on tipping point campuses like what I did at North Carolina A&T, is necessary to save our democracy?
So you are at a tipping point campus. The fact of the matter is there are a handful of states all across this country that are going to decide whether or not democracy is around for another 250 years. There is a movement all across this country to give up on democracy. It manifested itself through an attack on the Capitol on January 6th. And now with efforts underway all over the nation to try to overturn the results of the 2024 election if they don't turn out the way that a certain candidate wants. So your work is ultimately about the protection of our democracy, and your strategy to engage in peer-to-peer communication in targeted areas is going to be difference making. Listen, I can try to turn out young people, but I'm no longer young. Young people don't listen to United States senators. They listen to their peers. They listen to friends. They listen to colleagues and students that they go to school with. So I know that your work will make a difference. I know that our democracy is hanging on by a thread. And I know that nobody should be more invested in the work of breathing new life in our democracy than young people. So I'm grateful for the work that you've done at North Carolina A&T. I hope it serves as a model all over the rest of the country. And I will just tell you, we are counting on you. We really are. Our ability to expand voting rights, our ability to make sure that only the winners of election get seated in power is dependent first and foremost on whether young people decide to make their voice heard in this midterm election. If we get the same kind of turnout that we did in 2018, then we can protect democracy. We can make more progress on climate change, on gun violence. But if young people decide to stay home because they're frustrated or they're anxious, listen, I think that the whole enterprise that we've been engaged in is at risk. So again, very grateful for your work. And I'm just telling you on behalf of my colleagues here in Washington that care about the survival of democracy, we're counting on you.
Thank you, Senator Murphy. Thank